It is unbearably loud. A couple of months ago, I had one of those glorious moments in my life where I decided I need to go on a shopping trip and get myself a bunch of new recording equipment, stuff for the studio. And I knew I needed new lights, so I went and looked a bit left and right, and I found Nanlite, a company I didn't knew before that, but apparently pretty established, and it was pretty known for... It was a new company, but the global opinion was pretty positive. So I looked through everything they produced and I decided to settle for the FS series. Basically like a middle ground, not too expensive like the premium lines, but a solid middle ground with a acceptable price tag. But I decided to take the biggest and strongest model because I thought, well, take the strongest now and don't bother later. Very good idea. This is a freaking sun. Believe me, if I ever look into the LEDs, I will be blind. There is no way I will ever see anything ever again after that. That being said, I unfortunately ignored a lot of comments on Amazon and here and there, which said that the light was a bit loud. It is unbearably loud. I recorded like the last 7 or 8 videos with this light and I had to manually take that sound out. Way too much work for nothing, and I just don't get why, because the light is not that hot nor that cold and the fan is just way too loud. So what we are going to do today is some way take that damn thing apart. We are going to measure how well the fan performs that is in here, and I have a bunch of fans which are, I can guarantee, outperform whatever is in there. Ta-da! A 120mm fan. It was pretty freaking easy. Okay, so let's have a look at what we have here. The fan on here is unnamed, as expected, and the screws for the fan are inside the fan for some reason. I will try to show it somehow. Yeah, okay, forget that. I don't have sufficient light. So what they basically did is take a fan like this, put the screw in here, and then screw it down through the other hole. That's why it is annoying now to get that out, because my screwdrivers are all... Yeah. Yes, this works. Wait, no, before we do that... that was really dumb of my stuff. So as you can see here, what we have here is a regular 120 fan, no name brand or I don't know what brand, and behind it we have a heatsink. And that heatsink is responsible to cool down the LEDs in the front, because, you know, lights of that size do have a really big heat problem. And what I'm going to do now is turn the light up to 100%, and I will start to measure the heatsink from the other side, because the fan will make it pretty hard to measure, after like 30 minutes, and we will see how far the existing fan can push that heatsink down. Here we have the other side of the heatsink, and this is the moment that my little laser here comes into play, and I can see that this thing already has 34.5 degrees C. So that's while it's off. Let's see what happens if I turn that sucker on. And I need to, yeah, something like this. Yes, it's a freaking light. Yeah, the hottest point is of course in the front. And there we are looking right now at 41 degrees C. It rises. We started at like 37 in the very front. 42.2, 42.5. Well, I will come back half an hour and we will see how far this goes up. Montage. So about 30 minutes have passed now, and the front of the heatsink is sitting at 44 0.1. I've seen a couple of spikes to 45 during the half-hour period, but it never exceeded 45 degrees C. So first off, the light is significantly colder than I expected it to be. That's really, really cool. Maybe I would take this out for now. Yes. Okay, so let's first take that fan out and have a look at how it actually performs outside of the heatsink. I cannot benchmark it in any very good way right now, so what I'm going to do is like a paper test, where we'll see how much of the paper it can lift up compared to a Phanteks T30, and then we will base our opinion on that. Yeah, let's call it a test. After a bit of fiddling and way too many screws to now know which one goes where, I finally got the fan out, and despite me believing that there is no way that I will ever know the brand of the fan, it's a Sunon fan. And I have never owned a Sunon fan, but I read about I heard the name multiple times, and everything what is like server stuff like Xeon fans and you know, that kind of stuff. So this is an industrial fan, and I believe that's also the reason why it is so freaking loud. So what we will do now is just hook it up to my little PWM adapter, whatever, to some random ass power supply, and we will see how much it can push up the sheet of paper and compare that to another fan until we find something which is acceptable but way less loud. Okay, so this is what we need to accomplish. Anything underneath this is not good for my light. I guess that's okay. Fortunately for my own sanity, in the time where I waited half an hour to have the result of the temperature, I already prepared a little PWM to 2 little pins adapter to be able to mount that Phanteks T30, which saves me a lot of time. Oh, and if this was not clear enough, this is one of these videos of do not repeat. 230 volts go into these kinds of lights. Do not do this. This is dumb. I'm doing this because, I don't know how to say. Oh yeah, my trusty old friend. Random Dremel device. Oh, I love Dremel. No matter what Dremel produces, I love it. Well, if this does not look highly professional. So yeah, at this point I can just mount this here, and now comes the moment of truth, and yeah, let's just hope that I don't die here.
Success.
Yay, it spins. So okay, the fan works, so now we can put it back in. Yeah, maybe I should have tested if a 30mm fan will actually fit in there. I have never even bothered to check that. The fan will not fit. Unfortunately, there is a tiny little piece of plastic right here that prevents the T30 to enter. So I need to take another fan, which is not a 30mm fan, but a 25mm fan. Okay, last attempt, because I'm starting to get a bit pissed about this. We will try now a regular P12, because it is still way less loud than the original fan. I have a great idea. Every Noctua video I ever made until now, I said that I hate those low noise adapters and that they are useless. Well, this is finally the one use case where I think I can use one of them. If I put this in between, I can basically slow down the P12. Yeah, to a degree where it is not annoying anymore, but it is still pushing a lot of air. That's amazing. Yeah, we will do that. P12 plus low noise adapter. And the screws are protruding. Perfect. Okay, now back. Filling that sucker back in. So after a bit of pressing right and left, I finally managed to put it in. Here we have the the notorious Arctic P12 fan, and I decided to put 2 of these low noise adapters, and I don't really remember how far they push the fan speed, but I guess we are now looking at more like 1200 RPM, and we will just measure the temperature and see if this is enough or not, and if not I will remove one. It will always be better than the original little air blaster that we have here, and plus this feels really cheap, but we will see. Let's start this up and see if my whole little machinery here actually works. Well, the fan is spinning, and now I guess, yeah, let's wait. Okay, roughly half an hour later, the temperature started to settle at the very front at around 52 degrees C. I removed one of the low noise adapters because I felt like it was a bit too much, and we left one in, so I'm guessing like 1500 RPM, something along that range. And the temperature did rise significantly, 7 degrees C, which is a lot, yeah, but 7 degrees C in something like this I would still not consider to be dangerous in any way, because we have like 20 degrees in here, let's say, and this light is also built to be used outside when in summer when there is 27 degrees or like 30 degrees C, so when the sun will hit really hard. And at that point, you will also have the difference of 7 degrees C. So I still believe that we have like a 10, 15 degree C margin where we can work. So I believe this is perfectly fine, and I will use it for the next couple of days, and we will see how it performs in a long-term environment. And this is the end result. Yes, it is 7 degrees C hotter than before, that's true, but it is significantly quieter, and I can have it running like this somewhere in the room while recording. That's not an issue at freaking all. So I'm really happy how this, yeah, let's call it silent mod of a Nanlite FS-300 turned out. For anybody out there who owns a Nanlite FS-300 and he believes that it is way too loud, I can recommend you a 6-euro Arctic P12 fan and one of those low noise adapters of Nokia or any other brand actually, and it will work perfectly fine. I did test the P12 without the low noise adapter, and it got the temps down to like 47, 40, 46 and a few broken ones, so there are other ways of doing this, though at the compromise of noise, but I am favoring noise in this case, and I'm really happy how it turned out. I do not understand why Nanlite puts this fan in there. It's out of my imagination why they would use an industrial fan for something that will maybe be used within the range of a microphone. It's a really stupid decision in my opinion, and Nanlite should definitely look into other fans and use other fans. I recommend them using P12s. Very good fan for this case. But okay, so this was my attempt of doing some random ass stuff just to improve the studio. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I have other weird stuff I did. Have a look at that. And for the rest, I hope to see you in the next one, and bye bye.